para que trasladen a compañeros que llevan las llaves de los locales.
I'm receding like a shadow when I shine on the light. I'm an animal afraid that the hand could strike. I'll stop living as a wraith this time. I'm not a slave to my wires. I'm entangled in the night. Keep on reaching for me, feeding me underneath. Keep on reaching for me, feeding me underneath.
Welcome back to our first full episode of Tales from the Black Rabbit Files. We have everyone here tonight, and we get to deal with some of what they've done since they received their invitation, and also how they're going to work together in the future. So this will be a little behind the scenes, a little above table discussion stuff, but we'll be starting as we go. So we're going to go ahead and let people introduce themselves real quick, and then we will get right into things. So just kick this off with I'm going to pick on Fennec because I can see them, so I know that they are there. So Fennec, would you quickly introduce yourself and your character again?
Sure. Hi, I'm Fennec Wilder. You can find me on just about everything at the Fennec Wolf. She, they pronouns. I will be playing Strekla, the not so much a problem child, the very resourceful one, who also uses she, they pronouns.
Okay. And what about PG? An introduction to who you are and then who the character is. Just a little bit.
Hello there. I am Good Day FX on any social media platform on which I want you to find me. That is either GHEDE_FX or GHEDEFX, all smashed together. And I am playing PG Hollingsway, who is a gentlewoman and a scholar.
Okay. And Jen and River Holmes.
Hello, my name is Jen. You can probably find me on social medias under the Genquisition, but I am not active in most of them. I mostly just watch funny cat videos on TikTok. I am playing River Holmes. She is our lovely ghost hunter / researcher / conspiracy theorist. And she is totally going to blame Strekla for everything.
That's fine because I realized you're home. G'day is going to be Watson. I'll be Moriarty. It's fine.
You know what? I'm okay with this. This sounds great.
And to just start things off in the most interesting fashion, I think we are jumping forward in time 6 to 8 months from the last when you got your invitation, and you've all met up. And we'll get to that in a minute. But at the moment, it is 1:30 in the morning. It is Houston. Even at this time, the highways are not dead. And currently, 3 of you are in a car, traveling much faster than you should, away from what was your first mission that has not gone terribly successfully. So, the first question is, who is driving?
If
like
nobody has... Yeah, I was going to say, if nobody has any objections, Strekla has a hot-wired a car, and we are gutting it out of there.
Cool. So Strekla is driving. Who else is in the front seat? Is that PG or is that River?
That's a good question. I feel like it would be River.
Okay. So River is in that passenger seat, and PG is jumped into the back of
I am
this
absolutely the backseat driver.
Okay. With Strekla in charge of where you're going, I then have some questions about where you've come from. So, River, what were you guys hunting?
Well, you see, there's a lot of topics or thoughts on what exactly a poltergeist is. Some people think it's just misplaced energy. Some people think that it's correlations with ghosts and, are more physical aspects of ghosts. We're still not quite sure, but whatever it was angry.
Okay, so angry ghost-like entity somewhere in the Houston area. So the question then to PG is, what went wrong and why are you fleeing?
Of all the things you could have picked to investigate, you chose something with a non-corporeal body?
Okay, but do you know how many things I have researched and looked at and investigated that don't have corporeal bodies? I mean, limiting something to having a corporeal body is kind of corporealist, isn't it? Speciesist?
I mean, it would be a lot easier to deal with if we had someone who knew how to deal with those incorporeal bodies. As
I
it
know how
is,
to deal with
we
them.
have someone who knows how to deal with physical bodies.
Okay, well, the next time we run into a serial killer, you guys can take the lead.
It doesn't even
As long
have
as
to
it's
be
not
a
dead.
serial killer. How about a mage? Or a vampire? Or a werewolf? A
If you
mummy?
want to fight a werewolf, you can go ahead. That's not exactly my book forte.
Apparently, neither is angry ghosties.
So this argument is going on between the front and back seat. Strelka, how are you dealing with what is going on?
Stroga is utterly annoyed at the argument and is going to do one of those things where they know where the turn is, and they should realistically have gotten over about 100 yards or so ago. And they're going to make it a very much a hairpin Tokyo drift into the exit off of the freeway to shut up the argument.
Okay, and yeah, you guys, you've been together for a couple months at this point. You've done some things. Mostly, it's been, getting to know each other, brushing up on some skills, kind of putting together your bag of tricks for what's going on. And this was your kind of first solo thing. So you've all been in a car with Strekla before. That's why they're driving now, because you know that she is the wheelman for what's going on. So I imagine you both are not unsurprised by the quick turn and the kind of throwing you against the seats. So as that kind of comes, kind of puts the argument to bed, as it were, you're making it back to what has become your own little hidey hole, your den, as it were. Want each of you to tell me, like, what is something that happened tonight that is going to stick with your character? We'll move forward to that. We're going to jump back in a moment, but this is your first kind of solo expedition, and it didn't go well. So, what did you learn from this?
I think for Strelka, because she is so crime focused and that base, like she knows how to run a con. She knows how to break into a place. She knows how to hotwire a car. She knows all these things, right? But her occult knowledge is still very far behind the other two. And you can't really punch a ghost or, shoot the ghost. And those are two things she knows how to do, and she couldn't do that with the ghost. So she needs some skills.
Okay. And River, what is the lesson that River will be taking forward from this night?
I think River would probably take away the realization that she needs to be more thorough in her briefings of her teammates so that they know what to expect when they get to locations.
Okay. And then what is PG taking forward as a lesson?
Don't cut the power. If the ghost wants electricity, it's gonna happen. All it does is hinder your own eyesight.
All right, good. Practical information and practical knowledge for someone who is a bit more grounded in practicalities. Now, we're going to jump back to sometime after your original invitations were sent out, and to the date that was listed on that card that came to you all. And the location that you're brought to is a nondescript coffee shop that when you get there, there's no one inside. There's a sign taped to the front that says closed for private function, and there's just one person inside. So I'm going to kind of keep the same cycle going. Strekla, you are kind of our first to arrive. You were a couple nights past, well, a week or so past when you received your invitation after dealing with, well, whatever that was, and the news article that the house you had been at had burned to the ground. So, how do you respond to coming to and finding yourself at a coffee shop that is apparently closed for you?
I think she probably rolled up in a classic like 69 Mustang. It is one of the few cars that she always keeps. She's got the wood ring on her left finger, on her left index, and then the simple band that was going to go to the girl on her right ring finger. And she's just kind of looking around, dressed very like band like crop band t-shirt, fishnet under it, dark jeans, leather jacket, just looking very confused because the invitation had a black rabbit on it, and this feels nothing like that invitation. She'll stroll inside confidently.
And how does River approach empty coffee shop closed?
Suspiciously. Let's be perfectly honest here. There are parts of the city that aren't exactly safe. And to have a mysterious card left on her car to a closed coffee shop with just a person in it. Yeah, she doesn't want to end up on the news for that reason. So she has kind of like approached this very cautiously and is kind of looking around, making sure no one else is around, that no one's going to jump out and like pull her into an unmarked van or anything like that as she carefully walks inside.
Yeah, the coffee shop is warmly lit from inside. It looks like it's in a nicer neighborhood. It's just strange there's no one here except for you can see a man behind the counter, and Strekla kind of has wandered into the building and seems to be, possibly there for the same reason you are. PG, as the last person to arrive, how are you reacting to this?
So I feel like PG is the last person to arrive because PG arrived half an hour early and has been sitting in her car eating convenience store snacks. Like the veteran that she is.
Makes sense.
Waiting for it to be not weird to approach the building.
Right now, you've seen two other kind of, youngish women enter and seem to ignore the sign on the door and the closed sign and go on inside. So you would not be the first to arrive anymore.
Correct. Fuck it, we ball.
Right.
Still wondering what happened with the case of the absconding body.
Well, maybe you'll get some answers. There is, once you are all inside, it is very clearly a functioning coffee shop. It has all the smells and sounds and sights of a coffee shop. The thing out of place is the gentleman behind the counter, and there's no one else here. And the gentleman behind the counter is tall and thin, an older gentleman, white beard, kind of kind of glorious mustache. His hair is combed very nicely, dressed in a kind of black turtleneck and black jeans, and he seems to be expecting of you all. Because before we get started, drinks.
Depends. What do you have?
Kind of looks around. Whatever is here.
Is there booze or no?
No, there is
Damn.
not.
It's a coffee shop, not an Irish coffee shop.
Yeah, there's probably a bottle of Bailey's tucked away somewhere, but at the moment it's just the coffee shop.
Yeah. Strekla will kind of look at the man, look at I'm assuming it's a nice espresso machine.
Yeah.
Give me 3 shots and a tiny bit of sugar.
All right, and he looks to the other two.
I think I'll do just a London fog, if you can do that.
PG will be ordering enough caffeine to kill a bull elephant. Think like a venti cup worth of espresso shots drowned in sugar.
He seems to take all these orders and then pulls 3 large cups off out of the rack, the large cups, and just pours black coffee in each one of them and pushes them across the counter to the 3 of you.
I like you, old man. You're funny.
Well, it's not my place. I don't know how any of this works.
She'll take coffee. It's free coffee.
I mean, it's good quality. It's very nice coffee. It's just, it's nothing fancy. He can make coffee, and he did. So, then once everyone has taken their cup, he will have his own, and lead to a table where there are some nicer chairs, and he settles into one. See that he walks with a cane, and sits.
Strekla will sit after he gets out from behind the counter, and she's going to kind of do that slide over the counter, raid the fridge for the most sugariest creamer and put it in the coffee, and then slide back over.
He doesn't stop from that. He lets everyone fix their coffee how they want it, with what they've been given. They got full run of the place. So, however much coffee or creamer, or if someone wants to get fancy and use the machines, he's not going to stop you.
Rivel will go back and make herself her London fog latte, which is just basically Earl Grey with steamed milk.
Yeah.
PG's just going to take a gigantic scoop of espresso grounds and add them to her black coffee before standing in a corner.
Chewy.
Sorry, I had to get a Muppet out.
No worries. We have someone who's gone and made themselves their London fog latte. We've gotten Strekla, who has just added tons of creamer to the black coffee. We've got PG, who has just added espresso grounds and then is just sitting off to the side. He kind of motions to the table. I don't want to yell across the room. Come sit down.
Yeah, I mean, Strekla gone over that table, spun a chair around, and sits it in the Captain America PSA style.
Now, I am sure that you all have plenty of questions. But before we get there, I figure the first is, who am I? I'm correct in this?
Oh, I didn't expect an answer.
Start.
Oh, well, at least a name for you to call me. My name is Teller. Is Mr. Teller. Former Detective Teller, but that is a bit in the past. And you have all had interesting and strange experiences that I have a feeling you struggle to explain.
Never had a body get up and walk away before.
It didn't. But so you still have not had a body get up and walk away. That one I took.
Ah,
Uh,
you stole my John Doe then.
You didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with that. It took a lot more effort than I wanted to put into it. But for the moment, that one is no one's problem anymore. We'll see how long that holds.
Good to know.
But you all have seen things. Oh, well, Peachy has left us for the moment. I'm sure they'll be back. So the situations that you found yourselves in are strange. They are new to all of you, and I'm sure you have lots of questions about them. So if you want to get any of those off your mind right now, you totally can. And provide what answers I can. Then I will explain more about who I am and what this all is.
River is going to hold up a hand and just kind of wait.
Yes, Miss Holmes?
Why did you steal a body?
Probably the same reason he set man's house on fire. How did you do it? I'm curious.
Reinterred the body, didn't steal it. I returned it to the people who are technically the owners. The house, well, electrical fires are very useful things and hard to prove. And there are certain entities that don't understand technology as much, so they are easier to circumvent with those sorts of things.
Interesting. We should talk.
Oh, we will. Quite a bit, I imagine.
Sounds like a threat.
Hopefully not. Don't try and be threatening.
I am not trying to. I am just trying to make friendship. You can take it however you want.
But each of you stumbled into the middle of things that were outside of normal life is, I guess, the best word for it. And in doing so, well, you peeked behind the curtain a bit. So this is your chance to stay backsteen, or if you choose, go back to not knowing about any of this or dealing with any of this.
I mean, I kind of do this for a semi-living, so I don't really think
yes, you poke around the edges. I am talking about being a more active participant in the other side of things.
How much you pay?
Good question. Still probably be dealing with your own work for your day-to-days. These are more occasional things. I'm not asking you to enlist or take on come work for nothing, but work is not steady and also doesn't pay terribly well.
I see. These things you are sending us after, whatever they leave behind is ours. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't draw attention, then I have no qualms about that.
Excellent.
Now, there are certain times where things that might seem valuable need to, well, be disposed of and can't be used to be lucrative, but it is the nature of the business as it is.
As long as I am able to make money, I'm happy.
So the carrot's real nice. What's the stick?
Well, the stick is you've seen that there are things out there that are less than human or more than human. But and now that you've seen that they exist, they might not take too kindly to you being around if you continue poking around in them. It's less of a carrot and a stick and more of a what is it? The do you stay inside the nice safe walls, or do you head out into the woods kind of thing? It's more of a choice than a stick. But I should explain a bit more about who I am. Well, not so much who I am. It's not terribly important. What I do, and what I'm asking you to maybe join me in doing, is about 70 years ago at this point now, early in the 50s, there was a series of killings here in Houston. They were strange enough that they drew attention, and you'll probably be able to look them up. There was, well, just a string of killings. I can give you more details about that, but the details that weren't ever released were things about the only piece of evidence of them was a shared tattoo seen by witnesses, a black rabbit. So they became the Black Rabbit killings, at least internally. We didn't release that information out then. Not me, I was not there. But this group that was put together, this task force that was put together for this, was kept together after the fact. And it got tasked with everything strange, bodies that disappear and don't seem to fit, strange kidnappings in sealed rooms that don't make any sense. Every ghost and goblin bouncing around this city there who got tasked with those kinds of things. Eventually, the department and the task force was shut down and shuttered as funding dried up, as it wasn't politically advantageous to have them around. But there are some of us who are still doing the job, as it were. And since you have seen some of what goes on, I am here to offer an invitation to join the organization, the task force, as it continues, and deal with new problems that might crop up from time to time.
So you and your drink. Oh, go ahead, please. I'm so sorry to have cut you off. You are very pretty, though. We shall wink at River.
Thank you. And River's gonna kind of like pause, looking rather confused and surprised and caught off guard for a moment before looking back at the gentleman and says, "Okay, so you're like recruiting for the X-Files or something? Or is this like a stupid Travel Channel show where you're going to make us do seances and see which one of us screams the loudest?"
Did the cemetery and the ghosts and the hospital feel like a cheap Travel Channel show?
No, but I mean, I'm not a film major, so I don't know what they're capable of anymore.
No, Miss Holmes, all of it is true to one extent or another. Every story, every legend, every tale told around the campfire, they're all true. And sometimes the monsters have to be put back under the bed. And that is where we come in, where we can. Where some thing might step out of line and draw attention to itself. There's the saying, there are things that bump in the night and we bump back. We're not that militant, I don't think, but there are strange things that happen, and those who refuse to admit there are odd and unnatural occurrences have a hard time dealing with them. So we get a bit unorthodox in our manners.
So we're
Okay.
recruiting for Teller's Angels then.
Closer. Yeah. We don't have the backing or the funding of the X-Files. We're not looking for ratings, and we're more going to be helping people out. The same people that attract criminals and human crime are the same people that attract a lot of things that happen with the supernatural world. They are people who are easy prey for one reason or the other, and a lot of times they don't have someone looking out for them. I'm not saying we're doing this altruistically. I like to think that I am at least helping somewhat. That comes from years of working on the force and seeing things get swept under the rug. So, question is, do you want to stay on this side of the curtain and try and make a difference, or try and step back into the light and ignore that this is going on?
I mean, I can't exactly put the genie back in the bottle. The genie's kind of been out and about and probably has a social security number by now.
True. It's hard to forget, though you would be surprised how many people will rationalize and forget things like what you experienced.
It is survival. You have belly to remain full or worry about shadow that makes creaking noise. Most people are going to worry about filling belly.
Yeah. I'll let you discuss this amongst yourselves just a little bit. I have to refill my own cup, so you will kind of stand and walk off, not far enough to actually be a private conversation, because there's no one else here and no background noise or anything to kind of drown you out, but it's an illusion of privacy to give you all a moment to at least have some interaction here.
I mean, I really do ghost hunt, so like this is kind of up my alley. Anyway, just means I might be able to do it without facing it alone, I guess, if you guys are into helping with that. But I know it's definitely not for everybody. So
So pretty ghost girl say yes, and Strelka's gonna just kind of turn her gaze to the scary, pretty mortician. What about you, scary corpse woman? What say you?
PG. My name is PG.
Oh, I did not know name. PG, it's good to know. I don't think you're rated that though. You seem more like X-rated.
Do you flirt with everyone you meet for the first time?
Yeah, it's part of my line of work.
are you a hooker?
In a manner of speaking.
I mean, no fault to you if you are. It's one of the oldest professions, and it was originally the only way that a woman could survive and support herself. So, it doesn't bother me any if you are.
How put it? Sticky pot, I think it. No, that's not the right term. Trap. Men are, well, not just men. Anyone with weakness to pretty face is never good with their bank accounts.
Oh, you're a con woman.
Like one person. I mean, I know I am a. The redhead will gesture to the femme presenting persona today.
Sorry.
No, not no. So it depends on what people want and need. And honestly, they've come a long way with the binders and the tapes and everything.
Probably helps keeping things from bouncing around in a fight, too.
No, fight, yes, but I prefer to get away fast if that is going to be an issue.
I'm
Does
an
that
Emmy.
sound- Ah. So if I need stitching up, I come to you. Understood.
I would know how to handle it. It would be interesting to find out exactly why my corpse was absconded with. Oh.
I'm sure if you ask former Detective Taylor over there, he will have many an explanation.
Well, when last someone asked why, it was returned to the folks who own it.
That's where Taylor kind of comes back. I hope you all had a chance to at least meet each other a little bit. Own it is a strong word. They are the current caretakers of stewards of that body, among other things. But that is definitely one of the more unusual things.
Is it like Saint's Reliquary, where you must stay there or else bad thing happen, or?
Well, it is. It's complicated. You had a chance to look at it, didn't you, Miss
Yes.
Holloway? Well, if you had to guess, how old do you think that body was?
Appeared to be a young man.
True.
Young-ish.
When do you think they died?
It was fresh, recent.
And anything that stood out, looks strange to you about it?
Several things. You would know. You have my recordings as well, I assume.
Oh yes. No, mostly those were deleted. But I think I have a copy. Yes. But no, okay. This is going somewhere. I promise. You notice some oddness in the medical practices, the dentistry.
And there was no smell.
Right. It'll surprise you some to know that body is. Well, let's see. It's older than the city of Houston. It is. Did not die here, but was one of the first settlers to a nearby area, and ran afoul of. I don't know exactly what. We never have been sure on that. But while he died, going on 200 years ago, he's still there. Probably the easiest way to put it. He was allowed to die, but not move on.
So it was like possessed or something?
He's possessing his own corpse after a fashion.
Oh my god, you had a vampire?
No, different thing. This is more like someone trapped in their body. You've had sleep paralysis before, right?
No.
Sometimes when you sleep, your body does all the parts where it turns off, where you don't thrash around and move, but doesn't put you to sleep. Think of it like that, but he died, but didn't finish dying. So he has been stuck. So he feels everything. And is very upset, understandably upset about it. Sort of pain that goes through autopsies and the multiple attempts to destroy the body and things. But sometimes he doesn't walk, doesn't move, he can't. But sometimes the body finds itself places it shouldn't. And there are those who, well, I think you met them, the delivery people. We don't know who those are. We don't know where they found that body or how they got it from where it was supposed to be or why they delivered it to you. I said, we're not the only ones out here stumbling around in the dark. But yes, the young man is, well, he's dangerous in that he has been dead for a long time. And with that comes some ability to affect the world outside of his body. But it is good you didn't get farther into the process than you did. It doesn't usually end well for those who do. It took us a while to find it and recover it. But yes. So that is why I had to steal your body and return it back to the church where it spends its time.
So he's got the supernatural version of locked in syndrome?
Something like that, yes. But imagine feeling everything for hundreds of years. Other people tried to dissect the body or burn the body or free his spirit in one way or another. Would be more than enough to break a man. I am sure.
So are you guys like trying to help him, or is he just
at this
a coffee
point?
table?
At this point, his current stewards who are charged with his care, the idea is make him as comfortable as possible and try not to add to his pain. And hopefully, either a solution will be found. There are people researching it. Or perhaps if he is ready to move on at some time, he can. We don't know. He doesn't present as a normal ghost or anything like that. It's a strange case, but it is a lot of what we deal with is the things that don't comfortably fit into neat boxes.
So, spooky corpse men who are not spooky corpse men but trapped inside themselves. And she'll point at River. Ghost girl dealing with hospital and ghost shit. How does my weird fucker fit on all this?
So, stories of the Fae, of the fair ones.
Like Baba Yaga, Skadi, and others, yeah.
Something like that, yes.
Or the Erkig, if you're more into, the hunt stories.
Yeah, well, definitely more along that line. There are certain creatures who live outside of our reality in one way or another and feed on us in a variety of ways. Some more esoteric than others. And you stumbled into one while it was hunting.
Well, glad he's dead.
Oh, he's not.
Pardon? You lit his house on fire. How am not dead?
Because
Was he in the house?
Well, even if he was, that wouldn't have killed him. You can't really kill them.
What was it?
More to the point, how would you go about killing spring?
A heat wave.
That's what you
But the
saying?
concept of spring, of winter, of the cycle of predator and prey, these things are more abstract than physical beings. They are concepts given flesh for a brief moment. They step into our world and put on a body like you would put on a new set of clothes. So we might have burned his shirt, but hopefully he doesn't remember who you are.
Yeah, that's just, I am accustomed to wearing many suits and many faces. You will forget this face soon enough.
It is a bit like knowing personally which mosquito bit you. You hope not to get slapped.
I suppose a good analogy, and she's just very calmly, like, it looks like she's adjusting the jewelry, like, just twirling all the rings in no particular order.
But they are fickle things. There's lots of debate on what exactly they are or what they entail. We try and stay out of their ways, mostly because, like I said, it is like fighting a force of nature more than anything else. You hope to survive them more than anything. But you did good in what you were, dealing with. Better than most, I would imagine.
Well, like you said, there are not many who look out for the fringes. The fringes stick together.
Okay. So how, before we go too much farther into this and we delve into more specifics, do you think you'll be accepting the invitation, or will you be leaving us tonight and hoping that you forget all this?
Is he asking that to everybody or just
Everyone.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in.
All eyes turn to the con person.
Oh, I didn't hear what PG's answer was.
PG hasn't given one yet. She's just looking at you.
You know, you could take a picture. It will last longer.
Then it's porn.
No, if I monetize it, it's porn. If it's free, it's just smut.
No.
Clearly, you have not been on internet.
Smut is written. Pornography is photographs. Graphy.
Far be it from me to argue with such a learned college student who has faced ghosts and other things.
That's okay, I'll teach you.
I'm sure you can teach many things.
Probably. I mean,
I think she was right the first time. You are a hooker.
It is part of the job to get close to people.
will you answer the poor guy before he keels over? No offense.
Not that old.
I'm sure if I tried anything, he could whip my ass with the cane. But I suppose I have nothing better to do while I wait on other opportunities, and as you said, if certain things go missing and they do not cause too much trouble, then, well, extra revenue stream never hurts Strekla, did it?
Suppose I'm in too.
Oh, wonderful. That makes things much easier. We don't actually have that many people who have encounter significant enough to change the path of your life and that survive those encounters. You all are a bit of a rarity, a bumper crop of recruits, as it were. So let's get down to business of bringing you up to speed with at least the basics of what's going on. And with that, we'll kind of fade away from this conversation that they will have in this coffee shop for a while. He will answer questions. He is not an all-knowing source of information, but he is a man who's been around the block for a while, so he can give you basics. With this, you can, if you don't already have it, a dot of occult is easy to just write down as an education. It's an education you will get over these next coming months as you are all doing things.
What if I already have 3?
Well,
Do I get a 4th?
No.
Oh,
You might pick up a specialty, but we'll get there.
okay.
We lost Peachy, and we'll wait for them to come back.
Black Rabbits on the radio. Oh, damn it.
So we're back from... well, I'll just cut all this stuff out so it's a bit more
Colors
seamless
Angels.
when I edit things. So during this time between where your character was when they first got introduced to the supernatural and the moment you are fleeing in a car from poltergeists, there has been 6 to 8 months in here where you've learned some new things because you have access to more people who know things. You have perhaps settled into what drives you to do the work of a hunter. So we've got this is where we're going to talk about some mechanical things, but mostly the first things we're going to talk about is creeds. So this is kind of how you go about hunting. What is your approach to hunting? Because I'm going to keep picking on Fennec just because I can see them and the other people are hiding. So it's easier for me to pick on them. Fennec, do you have an idea? Do you have an idea what creed you might be going with?
I think it's the it's not, which one is the one where it's the more like there's the social kind of crime one? I want to say
underground. I would imagine underground.
Yeah, that's where she's Stelka is the con artist. They know they know how to grift and how to get information that way, and it's a pretty good way about finding out things people don't want you to find out about.
All right. So hunters that use guile, subterfuge, and knowing the right people to get access to queries.
Oh yeah, that totally doesn't sound like her at all, Fennec says sarcastically while nodding.
Yeah. So with the underground, as your kind of your creed, do you know what drive you might have? These are kind of like why you set out against the supernatural. These are your curiosity, your vengeance, oath, greed, those kinds of things. Is Selka coming into this purely monetarily? That was kind of their first question. So are they coming in as a person who's going to be underground and then is doing this to try and enrich themselves?
I think to start off with, they are definitely probably going to lead more into that grade because it's all about the hustle. It's all about surviving. And if she happens to change that along the way, that's a discussion we can have later on. But for now,
these are creatures who are preying on humanity and taking advantage of compound interest in ways you cannot. So why do they need all that money?
I can at least spread it around a little bit. It's not going to hurt them that much.
Okay. So what about River? Where's River starting with? What kind of creed are we going with here?
Oh, she's 100% inquisitive.
That makes sense. It makes sense to be inquisitive. They are going to be just too curious for their own good, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then what about drive? What kind of drives them? Is this a curiosity?
Probably, I would assume so. I don't think any of the other ones really fit at this point. River's all about learning about these things, so I think curiosity is probably the best one.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about PG?
Faith.
Do we have faith? Okay. And where does PG's faith fall on the line of things? We've talked about it a little bit, but
Yeah. So PG's going to essentially follow. I'm sorry, my brain just farted. Santeria.
okay. So they are they now? Is their faith? What about their faith is leading them into wanting to confront the supernatural world?
PG's patron spirits are the like the mother of healers, the patron spirit of healers.
Mm-hmm.
And PG has a great level of faith in her medical practice.
Okay.
Hence the patron.
A healer, even though they currently work with the dead.
You can't kill your patients if they're already dead.
Right.
Plus, if you figure out what did it, you might be able to prevent the next one.
Right. So, being a healer, being someone who's very invested in this medical side of things, their faith being important, that definitely can give you a reason why you would approach the supernatural. Now, the question is, how do they do about it? What is their drive to do this? Are they someone out for vengeance? Are they taking an oath?
I would say oath.
Okay.
And it's probably a continuance of the Hippocratic Oath.
Okay.
I mean, her major thing that she survived with is the supernatural version of a very real medical ailment.
Yeah. And you have an ability to step in and reduce harm, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
So, feeling that need to do so is a good one. Okay. So, as you go over these months in between here, as you learn some things, what are some things that we're going to talk about? Some of the things that your character might have improved upon. There are the edges and endowments that are more mechanical in what kind of things you're going to do, and we'll deal with those sometime else. It's more about you as a character. So, what has Strekla done over these last couple months to improve, to get ready for handling something outside of charming a man out of his wallet?
And not just men, but
They're an equal opportunity thief.
Yeah, they're an equal opportunity thief.
I think the word Strekla was looking for earlier was honeypot, correct?
Yeah. That was the joke. Strekla knows what a honeypot is, but social conversations and pretending forget words tells you a lot about a person and how they help you. But she's definitely taking that dot of a colt you were dangling earlier, so Fennec can stop crying.
Yep, that's easy enough to do.
Definitely spending some time practicing getaway driving. She's gonna up her mechanically. If we're looking at putting dots on the sheet, she is, she's putting some dots in drive, putting some dot in a colt, cultivating some contacts and things of that nature and whatnot. Just putting some feelers out there and maybe settling down in Houston. Ooh.
Now, you would have all been given access to a location. We'll figure out the specifics of it. That is a home base for you to keep supplies, to meet up for this kind of stuff, and at a place where you don't have to worry about outsiders intruding. This will be some things provided to you by the organization, as it were.
So just above board, Strekla hasn't moved in there full time and brought their not so feral scruffy tomcat Toystoyevsky.
Yeah,
So
totally,
they live there
totally.
now.
That's fine. I imagine that Strekla might put some points into fleet as an edge and have be the car person.
Something like that.
Possibly. Okay. What about River? What has River done over this time to kind of go from amateur ghost hunter into fledgling hunter?
Research.
Lots
and lots of research.
You've been given access to all kinds of information that you did not have before.
So
and some are
that,
primary source kind of things. So
the feelings that have been invoked in Jen at that primary sources. Oh my gosh. So with that, she has probably spent a lot of that time not just going over the research that she was given access to, but reorganizing her copies of it so that they're easier to find. She probably has a laptop that she uses that she doesn't connect to the internet, just for that extra blockage of security.
Just air gapped it.
Yeah, air gapped it, so that she can have access to these on a digital platform without exposing it to the rest of the world.
Right. Okay. So I imagine that library and things like those research abilities of knowing things are where River's going to kind of fall into.
Absolutely.
So we've got kind of River falling into knowing things. We've got Strekla into talking to people and getting information. So PG, what have you spent the last couple months doing?
PG would be very interested in learning a bit more about the occult side of things, particularly as it pertains to supernatural illnesses or ailments. She would also be kind of working the faith angle, as well as getting something like more in shape.
Okay.
Being that PG is a vet, she is probably pretty in shape already.
Right. I think we even talked about that some in your solo session of like they spend a lot of their time maintaining their body in a way as a way to kind of help regulate other things. So okay. Yeah, so we've got kind of PG handling a bit more of the physical side of things, but also your medical and your faith side of things. We've got kind of driver. You got a person who knows things. You've got your smart thug in PG. So sometimes you just have to thug a monster, and it is an important thing to have on the team. You have all been introduced to the scruffy, pretty feral but not quite cat that Strekla has brought into your. It's not a haven, safe house. That's the word for this. Safe house. That's the hunter word for haven.
That's it. Buy in catnip.
Just literally holding it under her chin like this, just doing the dangle wiggle as she brings him in, just babbling happily in Russian.
Yeah. So we've got kind of things like that. So now you know that you are going to, as you're nearing the end of this time, we're going to come to before you left for the poltergeist. What kind of things do you think you are doing to prepare for a hunt with a poltergeist? You know, you've got some stories of an angry ghost sighting, of it doing some things. So what kind of things do you think you've done to prepare yourself for this trip? For this, your first out, you've kind of gone out with Teller and some other people that he knows around the city. This is your first kind of, here's a task, here's something weird going on, go investigate it. So what do you think, Sarah Strelka, again, what is your preparation? What do you do before you go? So the night leading up to where you're going.
So she's only got that down in a cult. So like she knows enough like that things are real, but not what works. So I think she still kind of leans on those like old Russian and Slavic folklores, like getting a box to trap it in, and like, you know, always make sure you have your salt and have a little bit of like blessed stuff on you. So like kind of raiding her jewelry box for all the different crucifixes and rosaries to put on and whatnot. Gassing up one of the cars, you know, which we inevitably leave behind and then have to hotwire the other one, as we said earlier, but that's fine.
Right. PG, what is your preparation for going on this? You know, it's stories of a ghost, of an angry spirit doing some things. How does PG prepare for a night out to go look for that?
I would imagine on some of the runs with more established hunters, faith was something that was talked about a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but apparently the power of someone else's faith is a lot less compelling to a poltergeist who does not share it.
True. And also faith in and of itself is, it's a hard thing. It's also a thing that you will hear from these other hunters, that knowing about the supernatural makes faith sometimes harder to use or hard to find, because you know there's things going out. You know that some of those stories of miracles and religion make sense as other things that are not things you put faith in. So preparing your faith, preparing what things you might know. I would imagine putting together a field medic kit, like that kind of stuff, would also be things PG does.
Yes, she was also hoping that she might be able to punch a poltergeist, since they do take more physical manifestation. Also, not true.
Yeah, it turns out whatever you're dealing with didn't go so well in your first run. So, well, let's see how it goes. At this point, PG thinks she knows what's going on. She's going to maybe punch a ghost, so she has some things that might work. Kind of leaning on other people's knowledge and putting together supplies to make sure that if anyone gets hurt, you've got a way to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
How's PG doing with the thought of having living patients again?
I mean, who are these two going to complain to about bedside manner?
True. All right. And River, what is River doing to prepare? Is there your process here?
River would have done kind of, since poltergeists kind of align with the wheelhouse that she had already established for herself, she kind of would have fallen back on a lot of her old training with added knowledge as to poltergeist activity and connections on that. So she would have spent a lot of that time gathering and testing her old equipment, like EMF detectors, her laser grid, and other readings that she could get, thermometer, infrared camera if they can swing it, that sort of thing.
Okay, so kind of gathering up what gear she had before, doing some research now, because you've read a lot more. You have access to things that don't treat what you're doing as a fringe hobby. And a lot more people who have done this and will talk about it
Exactly.
openly. Okay, so as you all set out for your night, everything seems like it's going well. There's been stories of strange electrical things, so you've come to the conclusion that cutting power to the building might be helpful. That turns out to not be the case. You have got this idea that maybe the ghost is physical enough so that you can punch it. Turns out to also not be the case. The car you were in beforehand somehow is not the one you leave in. So I have a question. How did that happen?
I think what would be funniest is when Strelka is trying to do the, like, you know, the scene in The Mummy where Benny is just like going through all their necklaces, holding up the different charms and trying things to like scare off, Emotep. As Strelka is trying to do that, they drop the keys and it falls into a storm drain. Thus, they have to, go get in the other car.
Okay. So they've got some keys into the storm drain. So you abandon this car to go hotwire a different car.
All the while crying and rushing, I will come back for you, my child. I promise. I'm so sorry. Mama is sorry.
Okay. And we're now jumping ahead a little bit again to you were heading back to your safe house. You are battered, you are bruised. Turns out poltergeists can throw things real hard, and even light objects like photo frames and things like that hurt when winged at you by a ghost. So you've all seen better days, and you're a bit down, but you've made it back to the safe house, and you don't always win. You don't always succeed on your first tries. That is the case for lots of things. Hunting is just another one of those things. So as we kind of wrap up on what's happening in this evening and this kind of gathering of the Black Rabbits here, how is your character feeling after failing in their first endeavor? Strelka, what are you doing? How are you feeling when you failed at this first thing?
Oh, they think it's absolute bullshit, and this didn't seem like what they signed up for. I imagine the hunts with like Teller and everyone else had been successful. Like they were captured, even if they were hard. It was like, yeah, we did it, and it's kind of like the training wheels have come off, and they're upset. But they also know the first con never works out. Sometimes nothing goes perfectly. So I think what they do is once they get back to the safe house, and everybody kind of skitters off for a little bit, they go into their area, pull out like a couple of the imported bottles of vodka and just knock on the other two's doors and says, 5 minutes kitchen, we do shots. Come on. As a way to kind of like try and cheer everybody up and do some bonding.
Okay. And PG, how's PG handling a failure?
I think PG would be very grounded about it in a, well, we survived to try this again kind of way.
Okay, that's probably a good place to be.
And her answer to 5 minutes in kitchen, we all do shots, will be not until after I do concussion protocol.
You can do concussion protocol during shots, eh?
Okay. How about River? How's River dealing with a failure?
River doesn't see it as a failure. Did they accomplish what they set out to do? No, not exactly. But she was able to gather a lot of useful information from the devices that she took, including like temperature readings and all that stuff. They were able to see interaction with the poltergeist, how it handled energy fluctuations and the like. So for her, this was just another step of research. So while Strelka is being bullied into concussion protocols and also demanding that they do shots, River has grabbed her laptop and is like scribbling frantically down on notebooks as she is going through databases and spreadsheets on the laptop. and just a flurry of research activity, all the while just gushing about how cool it was what they did. Like, did you see how high he was able to lift that, or I don't want to call it an it didn't feel like an it, but it lifted the whole sofa and it went through the wall. Can you believe that? Do you know how much
Okay,
force that would take?
Brainiac. Okay. And Stelka is going to use Twiskiowski to like shut the laptop with the cat paws and then shove a shot into River's hand.
What's this?
Shining bright lights so I can check your eyeballs.
How my retinas?
Well, the good news is they contracted at the same rate, so you probably don't have a concussion from that coffee table.
I think it was more of an end table. It was really short.
Either way, the vodka will fix. Drink.
Shining light in Strelka's eyeballs.
Once. And we'll do a little dance as it's happening.
Are you aware that you might have a minor concussion?
Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last.
I think she
And that
is a
shooting
concussion.
vodka may cause your brain bleed to be more.
No, see, rubbing alcohol fix outside wounds. Vodka fix inside wounds.
I mean, I'm not your mom. Do what you want, but like,
Little
good.
CTE for everybody.
She will slow down on the shots, though, after that.
As we leave our hunters to kind of enjoy, kind of lick wounds, enjoy knowledge, share some time bonding, we will kind of pull out and leave the city of Houston alone for the moment as the hunters prepare to probably tackle this same problem again. Now that they've taken it a swing at it once, we'll see if they learn, and now we will see where they go from here. Thank you all for joining us. We'll let everyone say their goodbyes real quickly. Tell people where they can find you if you want to be found on the internet, and go from there.
I'll go first this time. Hispanics had to go first all night. Thank you for joining us. Again, I am Jen. If you wish to track me down on the internet, like the stalkers you are, it's usually under the Jinquisition. But again, I'm not very active. And if you try to friend me on TikTok, I'm going to wonder who the heck you are. So other than that, yeah, that's me.
hi. So once again, I am Gede, Ghede, and can be found at GHEDE_FX, or all smushed together. I can no longer remember which of my social medias have the underscore and which have it all smashed together. So try both, maybe?
Hey, so I guess that's my cue. I am Fennecly Wilder. You can find me on just about everything at some variation of the Fennec Wolf. Yeah, I'm somewhat active on most things, and I do a lot of stuff. The link trees in the bio to see what other projects I do. So now over to our fearless storyteller.
All right, so this is another tale, stories from the Black Rabbit Files, and we will be back again. There are links down below to all these people. You can find them other places, so you don't have to remember what they've said. And we will see how successful they are at dealing with this poltergeist next time.
Without punching.
Bye.
Or turn the electricity off.
Oh, even vodka.